Good morning, everyone. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House. We are so happy that you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast that was created just for you, the caregiver. I am Tina McIntosh, and normally you'd be hearing the voice of Terry Stacy, but she got called away today, so you're just stuck with me. I mean, that's not really true. Every week we're here with experts from across the world to provide comfort, resource, and joy to caregivers. And this podcast serves really to embrace you, the caregivers of today and tomorrow, and we're glad that you're here. So I am joined by Dr. Maggie Ellis. I'm so happy she's here. She is a senior lecturer at the School of Psychology and Neuroscience, St. Andrews, United Kingdom. Her research interests lie in the psychology of dementia, where cognitive and social perspectives meet with a focus on the communication difficulties experienced by people with dementia and those who care for them. I mean, this is right in my line. If I were that smart, Dr. Ellis, this is what I would be doing. I'm so excited to talk with you. So first of all, good morning to you and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, or good evening, I should say. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
That's right. Well, we are so glad that you're here. And, there are a few things that I've read that have been put out about your main career ambition is to improve the lives of people who are living with the dementia, their friends, families, and caregivers via translational research. And so can you first of all just talk to us about what is translational research?
Translational research considers research that you conduct and that then translates to a real life situation. So all the research that I will do will have an impact on a real life situation.
Okay. And you have dedicated this awareness or your career to raising this awareness. And you have these tangible research into the cause of the disease and how we can improve the lives of people who are living with dementia and their support circle, which goes just, wider than just a one caregiver typically. But can you talk about some of that research?
Sure, yeah. So I don't do research into the cause of dementia, but most of my research is on how to help people to function and communicate in the world with a diagnosis. So one of the first project I think I worked on, it's 20 years ago now, was called Circa. And that was a reminiscence project using a touchscreen computer. And it contained all sorts of video clips and photographs and pieces of music that people with dementia could sit and chat about with their partner, their caregiver. And at that point, touchscreen computers were brand new. And I used to lug this thing about with me in a suitcase. And it cost about £2,000 to buy a touchscreen computer at that time. I mean, it's crazy.
And now we carry them in our pocket.
Exactly. But that was a great project to start on. That was for 3 years. And then I took part, I worked on a project called Living in the Moment, which involved producing computer games that people with dementia could use independently. So we designed these games that people could use, again, on the touchscreen computer that they could use on their own. So the carer could go off and, make a coffee or do whatever, walk the dog, and they'd come back and the person would be there occupied and happy.
Interesting. How do you come up with these ideas? Is this all in your brain? Is this collaboration?
No. It was very much a collaboration. With people with dementia. So we did lots of co-creation of activities. We asked people what they missed, what they would like to do. And lots of the things that people like to do were to do with sport or out in nature. And we designed these games. So, for example, something really simple like a game that you'd have at the fairgrounds, where you shoot the ducks.
Yes.
Yeah? That was one of the most popular games we had because people got themselves a sense of mastery by playing this game because they got really into shooting these ducks and aiming it correctly so that they could get one when they popped up. And it was kind of almost a failure-free game. You didn't shoot the duck every time, but you could the next time.
Right.
Such good fun.
Oh, and I think sometimes we forget that, someone living with dementia still has a competitive part to them. They still have a desire to get something. Long-term memory that's still intact too. You're hearing the voice of Dr. Maggie Ellis, who is a senior lecturer at the School of Psychology and Neuroscience in St. Andrews, United Kingdom. I think that research with Alzheimer's and bringing that, into that translational research, bringing it into real life is fascinating. Has there been anything that you've done in the last decades that's really surprised you in this area?
Something that has really surprised me is just how much communicative capacity and desire to communicate that people at very advanced stages of dementia retain. We're just not aware of it. And because we're not aware of it, we tend not to talk to individuals with very late stage dementia. We tend not to try to communicate because we are not aware that it's possible. And I think that surprised me.
It surprises me too. And I have so many people in my life because I do work with typically adults living with a dementia of some sort. People say to me, but at least mom doesn't know what's happening anymore. At least she's so far in the disease, she doesn't know what's happening. And I always say, I would just use caution. There's nothing that tells us she doesn't know what's happening. And boy, I would rather talk with someone and have them not respond or really know what's happening than not talk with them. Have them trapped in their own body. So communication, does that in your research go beyond words? I mean, are there other people communicate? And what is that?
So the research that I work on is based on a technique developed for people with multiple and profound learning disabilities with severe communication difficulties attached to that. And it's called intensive interaction. And it involves reflecting the actions of the other person. So, for example, if a person with severe autism has a sound that they produce over and over and over again, instead of ignoring that sound or trying to make the person stop making that sound, you would reflect it back to the person so that the person then recognises their language in another individual. And you see some amazing results with that. Just YouTube it. Go on YouTube and look for intensive interaction. My friend Phoebe Caldwell taught me how to do it, and she is an amazing practitioner. She's just incredible. And some of the sessions she's got on YouTube are fantastic.
I'm going to look that up. I think about it with dementia that I work with, and we sometimes, if they're just by chance, not because we know to do it properly, I'm going to look into that interaction. But, whether it's a moaning sound or it's even a fidgeting of the hands, I just sometimes if we join them in their world, communication just opens up in the eyes, in the way the face lights up. It's fascinating. What do you think? And we only have a couple minutes. I would like you to stay forever. What does the future hold for you? Is there something you're on the brink of doing that excites you?
Yes, very much so. So my approach is not called intensive interaction. It's called adaptive interaction, for reasons that we don't have time to go into. But I developed that with my PhD supervisor in those days. She's now my collaborator, Professor Arlene Estelle. And we have a project that's about to happen in care homes across Scotland, looking at adaptive interaction and the benefits of it. However, we can't get into care homes at the moment and access people with advanced dementia for obvious reasons. So just before COVID hit, we were just about to recruit someone to run this project. However, it's something to look forward to, right?
I want to be that person. Can I come and work for you? And the world will open up back again, right? And we'll be able to do this. In the meantime, how do we follow you? I mean, how do we watch what you're doing?
You can look me up on the University of St. Andrews website. I also have a training website called Astellis, Astellis, and that's where you can look at our training materials for adaptive interaction. We train caregivers how to use it. I've got a couple of books out. You could look those up as well on adaptive interaction. You'll find me. I'm not difficult to. I'm not difficult
Oh,
to
I
find.
love it, and I feel so blessed and fortunate that our paths have crossed. And I will tell you that if you're ever looking for, a guinea pig group in the States, I want you to reach out to me. So
Okay.
we would love to help. All right. Again, Dr. Maggie Ellis, who is with St. Andrews, United Kingdom. You can find her just about anywhere, and the work she's doing is fantastic. And I think will be eye-opening for a lot of folks who are listening. So, Dr. Ellis, thank you so much for joining us here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Tina.
For the rest of you, we will be back next week with a new episode of Caregiver Crossing. And until then, just take really good care of each other.